my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my February TBR. And February means that I have some specific things that I want to incorporate into this TBR. One is Black History Month, the other is Valentine's Day, and then the others are just going to be from the many TBRs that I'm still currently trying to work through. I did try to keep this TBR short and achievable. I don't know if I did it, but the content warnings for everything that I talk about today will be linked down below in the description, and let's go ahead and get into it. The first book on my TBR is going to be Evil Eye by Etaf Rum. And Evil Eye follows our main character who was raised in a conservative family after she has been able to chase her dreams and also become a traditional wife, thinking that all of those things would finally make her feel free when she responds to a colleague's racist provocation. And she has to attend counseling after this in order to maintain her position at the college that she works at. She quickly finds the life that she has constructed for herself falling apart. I feel like I've been seeing this book a lot lately and I'm feeling very drawn to it, and that's basically all it takes for me to put a book in my TBR. But I am looking forward to getting to meet our main character and getting to know her story. Storygraph does have this labeled as challenging, emotional, and reflective, which does not bode well for my emotional state, but I've heard really good things about this one and this author's other book, so I'm sure that it'll be worth it. Next up is Lark and Kasim Start a Revolution by Kacen Callender. This follows our main character Lark, who wants to be a writer and is trying to build a platform through social media. When their ex-best friend Kasim accidentally posts about his secret crush on Lark's Twitter, they decide to cover for him in order to protect his privacy and also get closer to their own crush. But as Lark's social media explodes, they soon find that they cannot be perfect no matter how much that they try, and will instead have to learn how to embrace the mess. So Kacen Callender has a new book coming out this month, and I want to celebrate that by reading this one, because this one came out first and that feels more fair, and I'm really excited about it. I feel like there's going to be some good character growth along with a good romance, and I mean, I'm sure that I'll find something that I either really love or really like about this book either way, because that seems to be what always happens when I read this author. I also do own Stars in Your Eyes, and between this book, that book, and Infinity Alchemist, I feel like this is going to be a really good reading year for me. In terms of Kacen Callender books, at least. Next up is going to be Loveless by Alice Oseman. This follows our main character who has never interacted with love in any way other than being a fanfic-obsessed romantic who is sure that she will find her person one day. She begins university with her best friend and is ready to achieve her quote-unquote teenage dream. However, when her romance plans cause havoc amongst her friends, she begins to wonder why love seems so easy for others, but not for her. I would be shocked to my very core if I didn't end up giving this book 5 stars. It has ace and arrow representation, and it's also Alice Oseman. Based on the synopsis and just what I know about this book, I feel like this book is going to end up meaning a lot to me, which is kind of scary, but at the same time, I don't want to keep putting it off for that very same reason. Like, I want this book in my life. I want it to mean a lot to me, and I want to love it. And I want that to happen this month, but as long as I keep, like, putting it in my TBRs, I'll read it eventually. Next up is Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the second book in the Brown Sisters trilogy, which is an Own Voices spicy adult romance series. And this follows our main character Dani, who, after a video of them goes viral, decides to start fake dating her office's security guard. He's secretly a hopeless romantic, and she's more looking for a friends with benefits type of situation. But it isn't long before what she wants starts to get much more complex. Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert was my Valentine's Day read last year, so this feels right. I have read this series a little bit out of order because I can, so this is going to be my last one, which makes me a little sad, but I also do just want to finish this series. And I love Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I really loved Act Your Age, Eve Brown, so I'm sure this one will be a good time too. Next up is The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty, which is the sequel to The City of Brass. The City of Brass follows our main character who has never believed in magic despite her own tricks that she uses as a con woman. However, when she accidentally summons a djinn during one of these cons and he tells her an extraordinary tale that includes a legendary city of brass that she is bound to, our main character is forced to reconsider her beliefs. And speaking of finishing series, I put this in my winter TBR. That is something that I did. And it's been a while since I've read anything from this series, and I might be wrong about this next statement, but I feel like this series has stuck with me over the years. And I feel like I remember a lot about it despite the many years that I've been reading this series. So like, I'm feeling good and maybe even confident about this. And I do want to get back into this book because even though I'm terrified for the characters and also the 1,000 pages, I really love this series, and as much as I like having it around to just read for the first time whenever I want to, it's time. It just is, and this author has another book out that I want to read, but this is definitely coming first. And that is what I will keep telling myself until this is finished. Next up is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. The Vanishing Half takes place over the course of the 1950s to the 1990s, and follows two twin sisters who are living separate lives, and despite the lies and the miles that separate them, their lives are bound to cross again when their daughter's storylines intersect with one another. I chose this book for this TBR because it takes place in the past, history, if you will, and it's also just been on my physical TBR for too long, and I've kind of recommitted to some of my reading goals from last year in hopes that I actually complete them this time around, and one of them involved reading books that have been on my TBR for long periods of time. This is another one that I feel like I've only ever heard good things about, and it sounds like there are going to be some really interesting and complex things going on. I'm expecting to get really invested in this story because there's already a lot that I want to know, and I'm looking forward to just finally finding all of those things that I want to know out. Finally, I do have a handful of manga series that I want to continue with this month. We are just going to run through them quickly, including the 4 series that I've been keeping up with as a update. You and I Are Polar Opposites, Blue Box, Akane-banashi, and also Kagurabachi. And then there are also the series that I will be continuing to try to catch up to, including Whisper Me a Love Song, Jujutsu Kaisen, and also Kaiju number 8. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. What else will I read throughout the month of February? Who knows? But thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye.